The relationship between the Roman Catholic Church and science is a widely debated subject. Historically, the Church has often been a patron of sciences. It has been prolific in the foundation of schools, universities and hospitals, and many clergy have been active in the sciences. Historians of science such as Pierre Duhem credit medieval Catholic mathematicians and philosophers such as John Buridan, Nicole, Oresme and Roger Bacon as the founders of modern science. Duhem concluded that the mechanics and physics of which modern times are justifiably proud to proceed by an uninterrupted series of scarcely perceptible improvements from doctrines professed in the heart of the medieval schools. Yet, the conflict thesis and other critiques emphasize historical or contemporary conflict between the Catholic Church and science, citing in particular the trial of Galileo in evidence. For its part, the Catholic Church teaches that the Christian faith and science are complementary, as can be seen from paragraph 159 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which states in regards to faith and science, though faith is above reason, there can never be any real discrepancy between faith and reason, since the same God who reveals mysteries and infuses faith has bestowed the light of reason on the human mind. God cannot deny himself, nor can truth ever contradict truth. 37. Consequently, methodical research in all branches of knowledge, provided it is carried out in a truly scientific manner and does not override moral laws, can never conflict with the faith, because the things of the world and the things of faith derive from the same God. The humble and persevering investigator of the secrets of nature is being led, as it were, by the hand of God in spite of himself, for it is God, the conserver of all things, who made them what they are. Catholic scientists, both religious and lay, have led scientific discovery in many fields. From ancient times, Christian emphasis on practical charity gave rise to the development of systematic nursing and hospitals, and the Church remains the single greatest private provider of medical care and research facilities in the world. Following the fall of Rome, monasteries and convents remained bastions of scholarship in Western Europe, and clergymen were the leading scholars of the age, studying nature, mathematics and the motion of the stars. During the Middle Ages, the Church founded Europe's first universities, producing scholars like Robert Grosseteste, Albert the Great, Roger Bacon and Thomas Aquinas, who helped establish scientific method. During this period, the Church was also a great patron of engineering for the construction of elaborate cathedrals. Since the Renaissance, Catholic scientists have been credited as fathers of a diverse range of scientific fields. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck prefigured the theory of evolution with Lamarckism. Friar Gregor Mendel pioneered genetics, and Fr. Georges Lemaitre proposed the Big Bang cosmological model. The Jesuits have been particularly active, notably in astronomy. Church patronage of sciences continues through elite institutions like the Pontifical Academy of Sciences and Vatican Observatory. This view of the Church as a patron of sciences is contested by some, who speak either of an historically varied relationship, which has shifted from active and even singular support to bitter clashes, or of an enduring intellectual conflict between religion and science. Enlightenment philosophers such as Voltaire were famously dismissive of the achievements of the Middle Ages. In the 19th century, the conflict thesis emerged to propose an intrinsic conflict or conflicts between the Church and science. The original historical usage of the term asserted that the Church has been in perpetual opposition to science. Later uses of the term denote the Church as epistemological opposition to science. The thesis interprets the relationship between the Church and science as inevitably leading to public hostility. When religion aggressively challenges new scientific ideas, as in the Galileo affair, an alternative criticism is that the Church opposed particular scientific discoveries that it felt challenged its authority and power, particularly through the Reformation and on through the Enlightenment. This thesis shifts the emphasis away from the perception of the fundamental incompatibility of religion per se and science in general to a critique of the structural reasons for the resistance of the Church as a political organization. The Church itself rejects the notion of innate conflict. The Vatican Council declared that faith and reason are of mutual help to each other. The Catholic Encyclopedia of 1912 proffers that the conflicts between science and the Church are not real, and states that belief in such conflicts are predicated on false assumptions. Pope Street. John Paul II summarized the Catholic view of the relationship between faith and reason in the encyclical Fides et Ratio, saying, "Faith and reason are like two wings on which the human spirit rises to the contemplation of truth, and God has placed in the human heart a desire to know the truth, in a word, to know himself, so that, by knowing and loving God, men and women may also come to the fullness of truth about themselves." The present papal astronomer Brother Guy Consolmagna describes science as an act of worship and as a way of getting intimate with the Creator. Some leading Catholic scientists. Scientific fields with important foundational contributions from Catholic scientists included physics, acoustics, mineralogy, modern chemistry, modern anatomy, stratigraphy, bacteriology, genetics, analytical geometry, heliocentric cosmology, atomic theory and the Big Bang theory on the origins of the universe. Jesuits devised modern lunar nomenclature and stellar classification, and some 35 craters of the Moon are named after Jesuits, among whose great scientific polymaths were Francesco Grimaldi and Giambattista Riccioli. The Jesuits also introduced Western science to India and China and translated local texts to be sent to Europe for study. Missionaries contributed significantly to the fields of anthropology, zoology and botany during Europe's age of discovery. Definitions of science. Differing analyses of the Catholic relationship to science may arise from definitional variants. While secular philosophers consider science in the restricted sense of natural science, theologians have viewed science in a very broad sense, as given by Aristotle's definition that science is the sure and evident knowledge obtained from demonstrations. In this sense, science comprises the entire curriculum of university studies, and the Church has claimed authority in matters of doctrine and teaching of science. With the gradual secularization of the West, the influence of the Church over scientific research has gradually faded.